Hello and welcome to Terraria. My name is Todd, also known as Magimek, and this is of course Terraria. Last time we left off, we started building our highway in the Underworld there so that we could get across the Underworld and fight the Wall of Flesh. Now, a couple things happened since then. Some of the things happened in my life and it's kind of what delayed the previous upload. But also, some things I was testing in Terraria because of the Journey's End update. A lot of things changed, a lot of things are different now. One thing that I think is kind of funny is Melee has become one of my favorite builds now. So I may decide to build around that and change things up. I will probably still be showing off the different sets you can get and the different things. I think what I'm going to try and do throughout this series is kind of get a whole bunch of different sets just so I can test them out and show you kind of some of the cool abilities that they've got. But I'm not going to focus too much on things like that. We're definitely going to focus on clearing out stuff. Now, one big thing you'll note if you take a look at the map is I haven't really done anything since the previous part. Like I said, a bunch of stuff happened to me, so I haven't really had a chance to do that. Plus, I realized after recording the previous episode that, you know what, my assumption that it probably wouldn't be entertaining to watch me building that bridge was probably a false one. It's going to be funny watching me trying to get Hellstone and probably dying, and also if I accidentally summon the Wall of Flesh, that'll be a whole thing too. So yeah, I'm definitely going to show that off, and I figure it'll be funny. The thing I wanted to do before I did that though is I wanted to make some chains here, and I make us some crafting stations we haven't made yet. So I want to make a sawmill. I don't have, do I not have enough space there? That's unfortunate. We'll just put it up here then. And I wanted to make a sawmill, and I wanted to make an advanced or a heavy workbench. I also wanted to make a loom. So these are all different crafting items that you can make, and they allow you to craft a whole bunch of different things, which is like wood and, you know, metals and whatnot. There's just a whole bunch of different things now that we can craft with these items, which we will probably in the future, but I just wanted to get those out of the way, show off how they're made, and then be done with it. Let's take these chains and we'll just go throw them over here. So in this part, of course, you're going to be building more onto our underground highway, and we're going to be focusing on that. We will be getting lots of hellstone. Oh, is that a turtle? I don't have a net. I want to capture that turtle though. Turtles are kind of rare to find. Is there a merchant? Do I have a merchant? Yeah, he's over on that side. I'm going to talk to our merchant and buy a bug net. Shop. Net. Usually you wouldn't need to buy a bug net until much later, but I'm buying it for right now just so I can have it to capture that turtle, because if you use a bug net you can capture wild... Oh, it despawned. That's sad. Any animal out in the world can be captured with a bug net, including like owls, birds, that turtle that we just saw, which I didn't get the chance to get. They can all be captured with a bug net, so if you ever see one and you wanted to capture it, put it in like a terrarium, which is another thing you can make in this game. You make it with glass and what is it? Glass and I think a little bit of iron, or maybe it's just glass by itself, I forget. But regardless, you make it with that sort of stuff, and that allows you to you kind of show off those animals, and turtles are kind of a cool new addition in Journey's End, which I like turtles, so I wanted to show it off, but sadly I didn't capture that turtle, so we'll just have to make do without it. Don't want to splatter myself all over the little elevator sort of thing we got going on here. I have been playing a lot of Terraria as of late, so I shouldn't be too rusty on it, but at the same time, I also haven't played without endgame gear in a while, so I might be a little bit rusty in that regard. Much more used to having all of my extremely upgraded and overpowered stuff. Like a certain sword that you get in endgame now, which I would talk about and spoil, but I don't really want to do that just yet. I want to show that off later on, so when we get to that point, I'll definitely show it off. And that point being, of course, after we defeat the Moon Lord, potentially a couple of times. He does a lot of damage. Not enough to kill us, but definitely a lot of damage. Let's pull out our Beekeeper. Our Beekeeper's not the best weapon, but it's good enough, and it also does enough damage when combined with a Hive Pack that we should be able to kill most things pretty easily in melee range, as you just saw. And the bees released from it are pretty effective. The Beekeeper isn't the best sword in the game, definitely not, but it is a material for a certain special weapon. Let's just use our gun for him. There's also this extra salamander down here. Hey, another life crystal. It's a good thing we don't need it anymore. Just right on the way. Wouldn't you know it. So my major goal this time around is to get a lot of hellstone, build up our underground walkway there a little bit more. Not die to these hoplites, hopefully, criminies. And also open a lot of the shadow chests that are down here, because of course I brought my shadow key with me. The shadow chests will have some very good items in there, and we want to definitely use them if we're able to. Jungle being here. Is jungle always here? Yeah, I guess it always was. Goes to show how long it's been since I last even entertained playing Terraria on this world. I've been playing Terraria so much on other worlds that I've entirely forgotten about how this one's set up. But we'll definitely fix that soon enough. Gonna want to make sure we don't spot ourselves around it. It's kind of sad that enemies don't take fall damage. It would have been kind of funny to watch that skeleton just crash into the ground and die. Okay, there's lava right there. Don't want to jump in the lava. Let's go over here. Heavens, it is a long way down, isn't it? There's another thing I just realized we could make on our preparation for fighting the Wall of Flesh, which we might just do. Depends on how much hellstone we're actually able to gather while we're down here. The main goal is definitely gathering hellstone, and it is not worrying about gathering extra items. So we're just gonna go along here. Maybe I should have brought some obsidian skin potions, but oh well. We won't worry about that. Just gotta go across here, up, and get staff out. There's also an interesting thing you can do with the staff, and that is if you have a minion staff or a minion item, so an item that summons a minion effectively, you can right click with it, and that will cause your minion to target that enemy specifically. Very useful if you're trying to deal with particularly hard to target enemies, or just annoying enemies. Let's shoot him and not deal with him. Let's just cut right through here. We'll destroy the top of this. Cut our way through. We should be able to cut our way into that building. And just kind of make our way across through there. There's a lot of lava slimes, so I don't like how many lava slimes are over here. So we're gonna kill some of them with good old-fashioned bees. Monumentous number of bees. Okay, I think that should be good right there. Now let's see. I kind of need to make it through here. So I guess that's what we'll be doing. Dang it. Ow, ow. Ow. Ouchie. Let's go get some bees going out over there, so we don't have to deal with that. solution to all of our problems at this moment. It's just a near infinite supply of bees. Let me get up here. Oh, so that's a new potion that we just got. One of the new potions I had in Journey's End. It's a potion of return. It allows us to immediately come back to where we were when we used it, similar to a town portal scroll from Diablo, if you know that reference. But if you don't, it effectively functions similar to a mirror, but then allows us to come immediately back to where we were. So you no longer have to worry about disappearing out and then coming back with those. So they're quite good in that regard. Let's do that. Get some bees out here. We'll bee that imp to death. Okay. Now the reason I did that, of course, is because I'm trying to make a flat pathway that we can just run across and not have to worry about. Let's actually do that instead. That will make it so we can just drain all that lava out and not have to worry about any of it. I also want to put my dirt here instead. Actually, we'll put ash there because we're about to get a bunch of ash. Okay, so now the major thing about all of this is creating a big enough area that we can still shoot through it when we're fighting stuff, because we will be fighting the fall of flesh on this pathway, and that of course becomes its own problem. Let's see, what can I talk about? I know that I had something in mind to talk about while I was going to start up this episode, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, hell. I guess it was mostly just the stuff about Journey's End and how much I've been enjoying it. And, oh, no. I didn't realize how low my HP was. That's unfortunate. I needed to pay attention to that more, not what I was just randomly spouting off about. I always forget how hard things hit in expert mode. Alright, well, back down we go. Let's see, is there an easier way? I don't think we have an easier way just yet. We could blow through here to try and get down there quicker, but I don't really know if that's worth it. Because we just don't have a way to negate fall damage yet. And it's still pretty dangerous for us to go down there. Ah, heavens, those demons are really a problem. Might be best for us to just go summoner. You know what, let's mirror back real quick. We'll put on the summoner armor, the bee armor, and we'll see if that gives us any more survivability in this regard. Because my major thing is I don't want to be focused on trying to kill enemies. I want to be focused on trying to build this platform and also mine and stuff. So we'll see if our summoner armor is better at that than our magic armor. Now it does mean that our normal attacks are kind of terrible in regard to that though, because our mana gets kind of increased, but not really. It's probably best for us to use a Molten Fury as a weapon than anything else in that regard. Then again, having the bee gun's homing ability is still pretty good thanks to the 5-pack, so we'll see. We'll use the bee gun. If it doesn't seem all that effective, we'll change it up. How much damage do we get from this? Get a lot actually. You get 19% increased minion damage. That's not too bad. That should be pretty okay with these imps. Should get us pretty far. I think as long as something gets close enough for the imps to actually track onto, they should be able to kill it. Alright. Oh, that's right, I forgot I have the slime mount. It does cause you to fall faster, but you do still take fall damage, so that's a whole problem. It means we can get down to the bottom faster, but that might not be such a good thing if we hit the ground. So there is a tactic there for using it like that, but I don't know if it's worth it. As you can see, my imps almost killed that mother slime. Just like just by proximity. We do still have to dodge out of the way of those demon scythes though, which I think they will be getting in range. Regardless of even if we do have our imps. So I'll just have to pay more attention. And not get myself killed by something silly. The one benefit of going melee, like I stated, in the game now is that you get such a higher defense that you can actually focus on defense, which I don't think any of the other classes can really do that. Maybe a ranged could, but I don't really think so. Melee is the only one that could actually survive a good enough amount of hits to really warrant focusing on defense. Pretty much all the other classes want to focus purely on damage. Though, the one benefit of going melee is that you can focus purely on damage and still make that work too. Melee is just really the best now in Journey's End, and I don't know if I feel good about that or not. It kind of sucks, the fact that the other classes aren't as good now, both DPS-wise and whatnot in that game. But I guess it doesn't really matter. Terraria is not meant to be a game where you really focus too much on that. You focus more on having fun with it, beating the game with like what you're able to. Melee does just provide like a significant boost from the other classes though. So there's a whole level of like balance that's kind of thrown out for that. Kind of a shame, not actually that much of a shame in the end though, I guess is the best way to summarize it. I just realized that I wanted to get these bricks out of there. Get them out of there. Alright, now we'll see if we're actually able to survive well down here. I did bring an obsidian skin potion with me. It might be a good idea for me to just use that and go and collect hellstone. But we'll see. Wow. I took one hit and I'm almost already dead. That is the downside to being a summoner, is that you take so much damage because you have no defense almost. We'll get rid of our grave because we don't want a tombstone. Let's see. Let's build across here. Don't really need that impressive of a bridge. Just something that's impressive enough. You might notice that there's butterflies flying down here as well. That wasn't originally a part of, what is it, Terraria. That's something that they added in Journey's End, I believe. Is this new type of hell bait, which it's a type of bait for fishing. It's very good bait for fishing down here in hell, and you also get special items for doing it. So that in and of itself is kind of a special reward. Oh, a little bit of lag there for some reason. I want to create, there we go, a little staircase. So I can get up to this level here. Go across. Oh, wow. Okay, that one bat almost killed me completely. Oh, he dropped an obsidian rose. That's kind of a rarer item, I believe. Oh, that does remind me as well. There is an event that I guess we could do that potentially. I don't know if I want to do it this early because how much damage we'll do though. There's an event that we can do known as the Torch God event, which they added in a slight, I want to say, hotfix for Journey's End, where they kind of created an item that allowed you to place biome-specific torches without too much effort. And it was kind of a good choice, but like one that was prompted by a bad reason, and that was torch luck, which was this whole mechanic which kind of threw things off of balance. It was this thing that they added where the torches in the game dictated how your drop chances would be, and your drop chances would be fairly bad if you, say for instance, didn't use the correct torches in the correct zone, which was quite a problem, because most people just use standard torches. They don't bother use specialty torches or anything. I mean, why would you really? Let's just dodge across there. Okay, and that kind of prompted this whole backlash, because people don't really want to go to the effort of using specialty torches in a zone to increase their luck, and it also could decrease your luck into negative, meaning that you could have an even worse chance of getting things if you put up the wrong type of torch. Which, that was just bad. That was not an okay thing, and definitely not what Relogic should have done. I don't know who did okayed that decision, but it was a very bad one. Regardless, they removed negative torch luck, but they didn't remove the ability for it to lower your luck. In other words, if you still had wrong torches in the wrong biome, you could still have your positive luck negative, or lowered. So in other words, it could be lowered down to 0, even if it was positive before. Which is kind of a problem, as you can imagine. It just means that overall, it just means that you had a really bad chance of getting drops if you weren't using the correct torch. And no one liked that. That was a all-around hated decision. Nobody was happy about that, really. For obvious reasons, I would imagine. Because it meant grinding for things that were already hard to get was even harder. And that's never the way it should be. It should never be the case that items are hard to get just to be hard to get and for no reason. Usually Relogic isn't too bad about that. There are a couple items definitely in the game that are pretty hard to get, and I wouldn't say they're fair in that regard, but at the very least there is some chances of getting certain items that are pretty good, and there aren't many items out there that are exceptionally rare, and the exceptionally rare items are definitely exceptionally rare for a reason. All those players out there probably know what I'm referring to. I'm referring to, of course, the Rod of Discord. That is an item that is a very good item, and it is highly sought after for very obvious reasons. But it is a very hard item to get, also for obvious reasons. You know what, I just realized something else that we could do to improve this, and I will be doing that. Let me grab this extra obsidian brick that I've got. We'll go back over our bridge here in a bit. Don't worry about that at that time. Okay, so I need to have this on here instead. There we go. So the bait, by the way, the reason I am not going to catch it with my bug net is because I cannot. I physically can't catch it with my with the current what is it? The current bug net I have. I need a specific bug net to catch the bait down here, because it's all considered lava bait, and it would burn up my lovely bug net. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do in placement for our lava drains now, because the lava should flow out of here and not destroy the little platforms, but we can still walk across it. I think that's kind of ingenious. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. The whole point is having something that you can still walk across, but also fall through, so that we can get to the hellstone and whatnot as we come across it. Is there any... Not really any shadow chests around here. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if I'm just not seeing them. Usually they're in these like large buildings. But maybe I have to get farther to the right or left before I start seeing any more often. Alright, when I cut through here, I want to shoot in a bunch of bees. Shoot in the bees! Send in the bees! The bees will just eat up any demons or anything that's over there. Perfect. We'll grab a star, we'll open a door, and we'll just shoot in a bunch of bees. Alright, bees dealt with the problem. And sadly we did get, what is it, darkness? Reduced light vision. But thankfully we're in the underworld where most things are made out of lava, so we don't really have a problem dealing with that. Now we would have a problem dealing with this stuff over here. This is hellstone brick. Those bats. If you walked on this normally without an obsidian skull, that would burn you. But thankfully we do have an obsidian skull, so we can just kind of bridge across it. Do I want to actually bridge across it? We'll not worry about it. We have an obsidian skull. We'll probably be wearing an obsidian skull when we're fighting. These hellstone brick buildings also have a much higher chance to have what is it? The shadow chests on them, I believe anyway. I'm not positive on that, but I believe they do. Oh gosh, there's lots of stuff in here. That one, alright. Fighting our way through. How much further do we need to go? Oh, there's a shadow chest over there. Nice. I don't know if I've been over here already, but I might have been. Alright, bridge down here. Actually, yeah, let's bridge down. We'll grab this extra dirt block, because it doesn't need to be there. Boy, lots of demons. Between the imps and the actual demons, we're having lots of issues. We'll deal with it as we go along here. Ow. Dang bone serpent. I'm just trying to get the shadow chest. I just want to get the thing with the shadow chest. I'm after a specific melee weapon, which has been improved, and I talked about it in the last episode that a certain type of melee weapon has been improved. I just wanted to show it off if I was able, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to. Oh, I think I might have went a little bit too far down. We'll go up just a little bit. Also, we'll, oh, we need to create a lava trap here. There we go. And flow through. Oh, lava just flows through obsidian platforms now? Since when was that a thing? I don't remember that being a thing. Huh. Well, that is convenient, actually. That is really convenient. That means that we can just put obsidian platforms down instead of normal platforms. Huh. I forgot that that was a thing. I thought it broke all types of platforms. I guess it only breaks wooden platforms? Or platforms that can't handle lava? Interesting. Well, I guess in the future we'll just use obsidian platforms to make little lava drains. They'll use normal bricks otherwise. Convenient, actually, now that I think about it. Alright, we'll open this guy up. Oh. Well, that's not what we wanted. But it's not bad. Is it technically better than what we have? I don't know. It turns arrows into like flaming birds. Flaming bats. 22 damage versus 34 fast versus very fast. Oh, it is pretty fast. Do they home at all? I wonder. I guess we'll try and find out here in a bit. What did I just do with that dirt? Oh, I just put it in the inventory, okay. Alright, well, yeah. If I can get an enemy that'll actually stay alive for long enough, we'll try and test it out on them. My minions here are actually killing enemies before I have a chance to test out this bow. I don't think they home. Would be an okay upgrade if they homed anyway, but it doesn't appear they do. Dang it. There we go. How many arrows do I have? Quite a few. let's use our old bow. I think our Molten Fury is actually probably better just because of how much damage it does. I don't know. I have no idea which is the better bow. I'm not usually an archer. Just figured I'd show off that bow because it had a cool effect. Pull out my good old ruler tool. This is a tool I don't know if anyone's used that much or shown off that much, but effectively, okay, so it's one down from here. So we'll just make a bridge like that. We'll make a platform here to drain out any lava. And also, there we go. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this sort of stuff, so you'll have to forgive me if I go the extra mile on it. Alright. And now we'll just go across here. The imps are actually helping us pretty well with most of the things, if you noticed. They're dealing with the bats before they can get to us, which is pretty good. They haven't dealt with the demons before they can get to us, but you can't expect everything from them, you know. They're doing their best. Summoning sets I tend to find are very useful for situations like that because of things like this. They allow you to kind of go about your business and not be bothered by annoyances. Oh, we almost got murdered there. Thankfully we managed to dodge one of those attacks. Let's go up. Going up, hopefully we'll be able to bridge across here easier. Hey, the darkness just wore off finally. I could tell because of the subtle change in lighting. Alright, and we'll bridge across here. There we go. Dang. Bone serpent. Shoot him a bunch. Now we did get a bunch of obsidian skin potions, which is actually quite good. If we managed to get any more, that'd be even better, but we managed to get quite a few. So the major thing that we're going to be doing with that is using them to get some hellstone, which is definitely what we will be doing. As well as filling in these little gaps here. And creating some more little platforms. So we made a sizable, like, I want to say arena to fight the Wall of Flesh with, but it's definitely not big enough for my tastes. I like to have a very big arena to fight the Wall of Flesh, just because of the fact that the Wall of Flesh is quite tough on Expert, actually. It's definitely not a pushover on Expert. Definitely can't underestimate the Wall of Flesh on Expert. It takes a lot more to kill, and tends to be kind of the game breaker. I don't want to say he like destroys you, but he can if you're not prepared well enough. Which we really need to be well prepared for that. Let's get over here real quick. Do it like that. I just realized that this is like not correct here. So we need to fix this here in a second. Okay. Put one there. If we can stop getting lava slimes, that'd be great. Okay. That should be good there. Let's just put a block here. There we go. That fixes that. We'll just put those there. Get some bees going. Protect us from all the bad things that are here. Put a platform here, and a platform there. We'll bridge a platform across here. And across here. Anywhere effectively that we had a lava trap previously. Okay. So that kind of gives us that. We'll take an obsidian skin potion, we'll drink it. and I will start mining. So, when fully submerged in lava, I think we'll start drowning. Nope. Okay, we're just fully immune to lava, which is nice. Well, I don't think our bees are. Our bees are not. And the demons definitely aren't. Well, I mean, they are aren't susceptible to lava, which are annoying. Okay, so that gets a little bit on the top. Want to get any on the top that we can find first before going deeper, because that gives us less digging time, and we don't want to be digging for long, as our potion only lasts so long. After I dig a little bit of hellstone, I think I'll be moving back to base and trying to craft a couple things. Do I really not have that much hellstone over here? Oh, maybe I went entirely the wrong way. That would be unfortunate if I did. It seems I kind of did. So while in lava, the major downside, I guess, is that you just can't see. You can definitely swim around in it as if it was water, but you just can't see. Not even any, what is it, shadow chests to make up for any of it. The fact that our bees can't survive in the lava, very annoying. Let's kill anything that's coming towards us and mine this hellstone. Wow. That bone serpent got very quickly murdered. So we will be trying to make the hellstone armor, the molten armor that is. And, oh, that's right, I have a pickaxe. Oh, of course it still hits me anyway, just for that comment. So the best way to actually traverse hell is with a water walking potion and the obsidian skin potion. For the fact that the water walking allows you to walk on lava, and obsidian skin, of course, makes you immune to lava. So the combination of those two makes you pretty much able to survive down in hell regardless of what you come across. Okay, we're going to cut through here. We're actually going to cut into this big vein here. We need lots and lots of hellstone, because we're going to be making lots of different things with it. We do have 4 minutes still in our buff, so I'm not worried about any of that. After we manage to get our hellstone, like I said, we'll be teleporting back and calling that an episode. This has actually been kind of a long episode. We'll be doing more of this in the future, depending on how much hellstone we need. And I definitely need to make that bridge really big, sadly. So that'll be a lot of parts. But it'll be thrilling, of course. You'll get to watch me die to a bunch of random bats and slimes and demons. Which is kind of what happens. Okay, we managed to get all that. We'll get that last piece, just for completion's sake. We'll go over here. Let's see what we can find. Find a little bit more right here. We'll use another potion, actually, if we need to traverse just a bit more. I just want to see if I can't find a shadow chest. There's one. Let's go get it. Fill this place with bees. Battle potion, huh? That's what I was going after. Oh, we got a godly one too. Not bad. Ouch. Ouchie. Let's fill it up with bees. Let's see, what can I put it up? Kill it. Okay, there we go. Got him. Whew. What do I want to drop? I don't really need these cobwebs nor this single fire blossom. Magic power potion. I don't really want to drop that. Let's pull out our little piggy bank, actually. And we'll pump a bunch of stuff in there. That. Yeah, these doors. Actually, no, we'll keep the doors. Potion return. Compass. The rose. Battle potions. Why not? Okay, that should be good. Now we'll loot all the rest of this stuff. We'll Drop the dynamite and platinum bars in there, and all of the space gun. So the major thing is I wanted to show off how different flails were. So now when you pull out a flail, you just start swinging it around, and you do damage with the actual swinging bit of it. As you can see, I just wrecked the heck out of that demon there. But when you let go, it kind of launches in the direction you throw it, meaning that you kind of do a lot of damage, especially with one like the Sun Fury here. The Sun Fury can do just a massive amount of damage now, and actually makes flails really good. So good, in fact, that I'd almost say that they're probably the most viable melee weapon until you get into hard mode. Okay, we didn't want the guide booty doll to fall in lava. We prevented that, at least. Oh, there's 3 seconds on my potion. What did we get? We got a Flame Lash. Now that is also a good weapon now. So, a Flame Lash, despite what you might think, now is actually quite good. So, typically in the past it would fire a projectile that would home onto your cursor, but it didn't move this fast. And now it also homes onto enemies too. There's a lot of... yeah, there's a lot of hellstone here. We're gonna mine all this. We're also gonna fire out the Flame Lash, and you'll get to see how good that homing effect is now. So yeah, the Flame Lash, Magic Missile, Rainbow Rod, all of those are now actually very good because of their effects. The homing effect of them is massively improved, and as such, actually very good weapons to have around. Even though our magic damage isn't even that high, it still does pretty okay. And you can see that I just do a lot of damage with my flail there. Ow, I take a lot of damage though too because I'm wearing summoner armor. Ouch. Just, yeah, let me kill this guy. And he's dead. You can see effectively that flails got a massive upgrade and are now honestly really good. I wouldn't fault somebody for making a flail build early on. I am falling into this lava, okay. Let's dig through here. This stuff. So enemies that would typically run into you, like this guy for instance, he just got bloody melted. That's exactly what we wanted. So you throw it, and then it just comes back to you once you're done. I believe if you just, yeah, so if you throw out and hold it, so if you let go to throw it and then hold, it'll just like stay on the ground for a couple seconds, which is kind of the old functionality. So you just kind of go throw it, let it retract, and then you pull it back out again. That's kind of the most effective way to use them now, at least in my opinion. Stone. We'll go over here, pop this guy. Oh, what did we get? We got a Flower of Fire. This is a good weapon. It does a lot of damage, and it bounces. But honestly, because of the way the Flame Lash works now, I'd say that the Flame Lash is better. Which is kind of funny, because the Flower of Fire used to be, I think, far better than the Flame Lash. Any of these, like, track on your cursor style weapons used to not be very good because of the fact that they would break instantly on the first enemy they hit, and also that they were very, very slow and didn't track enemies if you let go of them. So, now that they track enemies and you let go of it, it's actually just massively useful. Oh. No. Oh no. Oh, I got it. Okay. I thought I was going to summon the Wall of Flesh there for a second. I almost did. Let's make this the last bit of Hellstone, yeah. That's the last bit of Hellstone. We didn't use up the full entirety of that potion, but we did get a lot of Hellstone. I believe I have a lot of obsidian, don't I? Or am I out of obsidian? Oh no. I might be almost out of obsidian. It seems I am almost out of obsidian. We'll have to remedy that, I guess, in the next part. Let's see. I can still make at least some hellstone. Which, do I have enough to make me that item? I don't have enough to make me anything. That's just unfortunate. If I can manage to get enough obsidian to make me a sword, I'll be able to make the True Knight's Edge, which is pretty good. And that'll kind of complete what we need for our melee build. Now we have the godly Sun Fury that we managed to get our hands on. As you can see, this thing's just good now. Flails are very effective. Ranged weaponry. So, yeah. I guess I could also use my Beekeeper as well. Regardless, we'll probably be using our Summoner armor until we manage to get our hands on that melee armor and then use that in the next part. I'm hoping. This has been an extra long part. I just did it because I wanted to make up for the fact that I've done some short parts in the past and also haven't really had a chance to put out a good part in a while, so hopefully we get a bunch done and we'll be able to maybe tackle the Wall of Flesh in the next part. And maybe I'll be able to speak in the next part too. Until then, goodbye.